I've lost 300 pounds, probably a little bit more, and have done that over the course of about 15 years. I know how to lose weight, but keeping it off has always been a struggle. So if you can relate to this, then this video is for you because I think I have learned exactly what I did wrong over the years and what you can do to ensure you don't regain the weight, which is what we all want. We're going to go over my whole system in this video starting right now. So 100 pounds, I've lost it 3 times. Once whenever I was 13 years old. Again, whenever I was like around like 22-ish, 21-ish, and then again, kind of recently, I guess not recently at this point, probably about 5 years or so. So I lost this weight in like 3 to 8 months tops each time. Now the first time, that's kind of not true. The first time is more like 11 months, but the bulk of it by far was in the last, like 8 months. So it was pretty quick. And the tip here is that fast never works. And I want you to hear me really clearly because trust me, I get the temptation, the desire to lose quickly, especially when the scale's falling every single day that you step on it. It's a lot of fun. You definitely see changes really quick. We're going to get into why that's a bad thing. And at first, or I shouldn't say at first, a lot of these weight loss attempts were miserable. So you might relate to that. And I promise if you are losing weight like 4 pounds a week consistently, you might be lying to yourself. At least this is how I was. And, I've been a trainer for 10 years. Even though I've struggled with my weight, I think it's what makes me a really good trainer is I participate in that struggle with my clients. I think that I've come out quite well from it all, but especially having struggling with it, I'm able to communicate it, I think, a little bit better to my clients. And I promise you, if you don't think you're miserable and you're losing 4 pounds a week, that means you're in a 2,000 calorie deficit. That is an extreme calorie deficit. You probably are white knuckling and like trying to hide the fact that this is not sustainable. This is hurting. This is affecting my sleep or whatever. There's a variety of things it can do. And so the next point here, I've kind of already said it was totally unsustainable. 4 pounds a week, a 2,000 calorie deficit, it doesn't have to be 4 pounds a week. It could be, 3 pounds a week, 1,500 calories. Anything more than 2 pounds a week is going to kind of start to get into this realm. Now, if a person has a lot of fat to lose, that changes. If a person's able, if you're really, really overweight, 500, 400, 500 pounds, even like 380, 390, you're going to be burning a lot of calories just carrying around all that weight. So let's say 5,000 is your daily caloric needs. It's okay maybe to be at like 3,000 calories a day because there's just so much energy on your body in the form of fat. It won't be as miserable. So this doesn't quite apply to everyone, but to the average person, it's unsustainable to do that, to be losing that weight. I always regained, and every time I regained more. My heaviest, I think, was like 270, 280. And so that's pushing, morbidly obese, where, there's health complications coming from the obesity. So anytime you lose, even if it's in 3 months, you might have a small window where you're like happy, and it's a different conversation if you need to look into like, why do I identify my happiness with my weight? And I get that they're closely tied together, but I don't want to get too much into the psychological side of things, but you might identify that you're happy for like a 3-month period or whatever. But I promise, kind of like a new car, you're going to get used to that. It's not, you might start realizing that you're skinny fat because you've lost a bunch of muscle. We're going to get into that. But if you regain it, even if you don't regain all of it, like what was it for? What was the misery for? Obviously I'm telling you, you probably already know that. But if you're 200 pounds and you go down to 150 and then you gain back, up to 207, you literally went backwards. It would have been better for you to never have lost weight. You would have never done all that suffering. So it's important to keep it off. And speed is the number one killer of keeping weight off. I promise the slower you go, the more likely you are to keep it off because you learned the habits and you went through holidays and stuff. If you lose all your weight in 5 months, you haven't even hit every holiday, So it's just good to experience that. What is real life going to be like here instead of just, a vacation from, I'm going to white knuckle, I'm going to go so hard and I'm going to take a break from life. And, because you're going to have to live life again sometime. So everything else suffered. This was relationships. This was, sleep. For me, at least, it was psychological distress from eating bad or feeling guilty or whatever. There's all kinds of things fallout from going too quick. And if it's slower, you get to eat more calories. You get to have better food. You get to work more on recipes and stuff. You don't have to exercise as much, and so it's not going to be as miserable. So that's going to be key, is slowing it down. So real quick, I want to speak into what exactly is a good rate. It would be roughly 1 pound of body fat loss per week. Now, like I said, if you have a lot of fat to lose, you could, let's do a percentage instead of 1 pound of body fat. For most people, 1 pound is going to be good. But if you have a lot of weight to lose, I'm talking 60, 70 or more pounds, you could probably do something more like 1%. So if you are 300 pounds, you could lose 3 pounds a week, and it won't be, as detrimental to you. You won't suffer all of these consequences. So that's roughly where I'd put you. Anything like if you have less than 50 pounds to lose, definitely 1 pound of body fat per week. So the second thing that I learned was that lifting was so much more important than I ever realized. So I was almost 100% focused on cardio during these weight loss stints. So I would be doing, incline treadmill, and I still believe I picked the best cardio. We're going to probably talk about that. Yeah. Okay. So incline treadmill, Stairmaster, those are my go-tos, was walking uphill. I was almost 100% focused on cardio. And so much of my weight that I lost was muscle. Whenever the weight is just simply lost quickly and you don't have a focus on protein, which again, we're going to talk about, and weightlifting, your body has no reason to keep that. It's like, well, I'm in a calorie deficit. Fat is more useful if, muscle is not being used. So it probably loses, I'm making this up, I'm kind of guessing, but probably about 50-50 if a person really pushes it hard. And so anything less than 25% of your weight loss is considered good. I don't like that. I really want a person to keep close to 100% of their muscle. And some people will tell you that's impossible on a weight loss journey. I think if you go slow enough and you're careful enough and you do your protein right and your workouts right, you can keep all your muscle, which is good because by the end you will have shape to you. You won't be skinny fat. Your metabolism won't be in the garbage because you have your most metabolic tissue, your muscle, will still be on your body. So you want to keep that muscle. So I was extremely tired. So I think it was due to the vast amount of cardio that I was doing. I was doing a lot of cardio, and it worked. It worked really well. People that say they do a bunch of cardio and they don't lose weight, that's just not true. If you're in a calorie deficit and you're doing a ton of cardio, you're going to lose a lot of weight. It's just not going to be all good weight. And then eventually you might hit a dead stop and easily regain it because a lot of that weight was muscle, but you will lose weight. And I guess I said that right here. It really did help with faster weight loss. Like I was crushing the weight loss. I'm telling you, like imagine losing 100 pounds in 4 months. I mean, I've been there, miserable, but did it. And long-term bad plan. That's what I was saying about about your metabolism being shot. By the end, and it recovers. It's not like, you're forever stuck with a horrible metabolism. It's, you'll eventually gain that muscle back. As you gain the weight back, then your body has to work harder to carry that weight. Then you're going to gain that muscle back. You kind of end up falling into that same place you were, just with a little bit more fat. And so that's usually how it falls. So the third thing that I learned, high volume food was the thing. For me, at least. I'm not saying this is necessarily good for everyone. Some people might resonate. You have to restrict in some way. The 3 most common and most successful ways by far are time restrictions. That's something like intermittent fasting. That's only intermittent fasting, I guess. And then a food group restrictions. That's like kicking out carbs. That works for some people. Some people love it. And if you love it, that's it. That's the winner. If it feels like this isn't restrictive at all, I love eating chicken and cheese and sausage sometimes and steaks, then okay, then that's your winning thing. But then the third one, which is my favorite by far, was just simple caloric restriction, eating whatever I wanted, just manipulating the recipes so that they are, delicious and a lot of volume. And we're going to talk about what volume looks like. But first was the recipes. And I have a recipe book that is completely free. I really hope it helps a lot of people. I'm hoping the fact that it's free doesn't make people think that it's useless. Otherwise, I might start selling it. But for now, it is completely free. All you got to do is sign up to my email list. Every time I add a recipe, I send it out. So the next time I add a recipe, you'll have it and you can just save that email or whatever. And it's just a Notion document that it looks awesome. It's not just like words. It actually, looks like a recipe book. It's awesome. High volume food. I mean, there's chicken macaroni in there. I had another chicken pasta dish. A lot of it is pasta now that I think about it, but some of it's stir fry, some of it's chili. And I'm planning on adding like chicken. Oh my gosh, what are they called? Like calzones, but the calzone is made out of chicken. I can't wait. So anyways, there's only like 9 or 10 up there right now, but that's enough to get you started. And I'm telling you, you're going to love it. But the recipes, or, whatever food you choose, whether it's, individual ingredients or recipes, individual ingredients, meaning like chicken, potatoes, and broccoli. That could be a meal. But they have to be high protein. You need protein. That is going to add so much so much filling volume to your plate. It's hard to eat 2 chicken breasts. That's very, very filling and a lot less calories because it's very low in fat and high in protein. It's going to help you keep your muscle. It's going to help you burn more calories just due to eating more protein. The more protein you eat, to a certain point, you're going to burn more calories for free just because it takes a lot of energy to digest that. So out of every 100 calories you eat, roughly 70 to 75 is what's usable. The rest, 25 to 30 calories, is used to actually digest the protein that you took in. So it's cool. It just kind of burns itself. And it is by far the best macro for that. Veggies are just voluminous. I usually add onions and peppers to almost every recipe that I make. And I have to admit, maybe I should start. I don't usually log them. I have been for the recipe book, just because I don't want to put this on you guys. But I don't usually log them. I'll just add it. It's worked for me. So, I don't think an entire onion's like 40 calories. Split into, I usually use one onion for like 8 or 9 meals. Come on, we're talking like 5 calories each meal. So I don't usually count the veggies. Now, if I have like a plate of veggies, broccoli and carrots, I will count that. If the main part of the meal is veggies, I have a recipe that I haven't added yet that is a stir fry with just chicken, broccoli, and carrots, and then like a sauce. It's delicious. It's very low calorie, high protein. Those, obviously, I count the veggies, but veggies increase the volume. It's crazy how big. Sometimes I can't even put the food that I have on like in a bowl. It has to be in this like plate bowl, like a normal bowl, something like that. We have these plate bowls. I call them plate bowls because they're bigger, like a plate, and they're shallow, but they're deeper than a plate. So, it's the only way to get all the food on there. It's amazing. It's still only like 430 calories. And that's the ticket. At least it was for me. So the way that I do it in terms of like my meals, I have 4 meals and a snack. You could think of it more like 3 meals and 2 snacks, but honestly, it's like 4 meals and a snack. That snack is usually to fill in the macros that I need at the end of the night. So I'm almost always, and this is in my opinion, a great problem to have. I'm almost always low on either fat or carbs. My fat lately I've been getting better on because I've been eating a lot more almonds for the fiber, but I'm almost always low on carbs. And so sometimes by the end of the night, I literally have like, kind of feels like a treat. It'll be like like a Nutri-Grain bar or something, where it's just pretty much straight carbs. Or I'll mash up a few bananas, add some stevia to it, and add a little bit of protein just to give it like a consistency, and then a little bit of Fairlife milk, and make some pancakes or something, something super high carb, just to get my carbs. So anyways, that's how I do it. And then the fruit. You're never going to, people, I cannot stand this like rumor or this thing going around or whatever. It's been, I understand keto. If you're keto and you're trying to keep your carbs down, that can be beneficial for people. So, but I can't even tell a person who eats keto to like 100% quit fruit. Can you be 80% keto and still have fruit? But I wouldn't blame a person if they're going super hard keto. But no one has gotten fat off fruit. Show me someone that eats too many bananas. Show me. Bananas are the worst. I shouldn't say it like that. What I'm saying is, out of the selection of fruit, bananas, if you can find one, are going to be the guilty party. And I promise no one has gotten fat eating too many bananas. It is Twinkies, burgers, pizza, chips, things like that, calorie dense things. It's hard to overstuff yourself even on bananas. Imagine the low calorie fruits like strawberries, blueberries, melon, watermelon. Good luck. You can have an entire bowl. You will be stuffed out of your mind if you eat fruit. So these right here, take a screenshot of it real quick or whatever, are the go-to thing. And usually these 4 protein, veggie. I was just pointing with my hand, but you guys can't see that. Protein, veggies, protein, veggies, and fruit. You combine those into recipes, and boom, you have delicious high high protein, high volume recipes. Now I do a lot of pastas and stuff, and rice. So I'm not saying you can't have those. I'm just saying these are the major players. So one thing I learned is I was right. Cardio is king. I wasn't wrong that cardio helps burn fat. It's just the speed and the amount that I got wrong. So I always do the treadmill or the Stairmaster. The reason for that, I say this in almost every single one of my videos. So if you watch this, you can skip forward like 15 seconds or I don't know, 2 minutes. But the bike, let's just take the bike for example. Elliptical. Elliptical is more common. So let's say you are on a level 3 on the elliptical, and as you improve in fitness, now you can do a level 4 and a 5 and a 6 and a 7 and eventually an 8, 9, 10. Let's say you're all the way up to level 10. That's cool. You definitely have gotten more fit. I'm not saying you haven't. But unless you were making sure to always keep 60 RPMs or pick a number and try to stay there, which is maddening to watch those RPMs and try to keep it, at 60 or whatever. Unless you've been watching that and not listening to a podcast or an audiobook, which is definitely what I recommend, or watching a movie or reading a book or whatever, then you accidentally might be moving slower and kind of making up for the fact that you're working harder. So if you run, but you only run straightaways and then you rest for 2 minutes and then run straightaways again, or run for 30 seconds again, would that be better than just walking the entire time? Probably not. And that's kind of the equivalent of what I'm talking about here. So the treadmill, if you set it at 3 miles an hour, whatever your incline is, that's where the extra intensity is going to come from. So if you're walking at 10% incline, you're obviously more fit than if you're walking at 3% incline, so you're burning more calories. But if you set that at 3, you don't have to keep track of your revolutions per minute because the revolutions, your steps, have to stay roughly the same because you have to go 3 miles an hour in order to stay on. Same thing with the Stairmaster. If you set it to a level 4, if you're not walking at whatever pace that level 4 is, you're going to fall off. And so those are, as you improve in fitness, you can improve in the incline, you can improve in the level on the Stairmaster, whichever one it is, and you know that you're burning more calories in the same amount of time, and that's the ticket. So the second thing is steps. I'm big on steps. Now I do cardio every day, so it makes it kind of fuzzy. But I don't do as much as I used to, believe it or not. But steps, I get like 16,000 steps a day. I don't intentionally do that. I'm a personal trainer. I'm on the gym floor a lot. I do cardio every day. I work out with weights every day, 6 days a week. So I just end up getting a lot of steps, but it really helps whenever you get that many steps. Now, anything like crazy, 30,000 steps and beyond, I'm sure there's going to be, complications that come with that. And if you're not used to taking a bunch of steps right now, I wouldn't jump into, 16,000 steps. I would find out wherever, based off your phone. Let's say your phone says you get 5,000 steps. Usually a person's phone isn't in their pocket all the time. So I would, increase that by 1,000 and go for 6,000 every day. The step counter, I have a foot injury right now, so I promise I'm not a liar. Check my other videos and you'll see. I almost always show this. My step counter that I use is this 3D pedometer. I don't know if you can see it. I hope you can. It says I have 7,862 steps right now, and it's a Neskla. This is, if you don't even have to remember all that, if you just search pedometer on Amazon, you will find, I think that's the number one pedometer by far. It's cheap. It's accurate. It's a lot more accurate than the watches. Now, if you have an Apple Watch, that is accurate, but the cheap watches, they're like $30 or $20. They just don't do it. So if you have like a legit step tracker watch thing, then that'll be fine. But if you're just buying just a step tracker, I'm telling you, this thing, you can even put it in your pocket. I clip it on, but if you don't want people to see it, you can just put it in your pocket. It tracks really, really well. This thing's been going for a year and a half or something. So anyways, steps, very important. Enjoyment. So that trumps the treadmill or Stairmaster tip. If you hate the treadmill, it's not going to be best for you. I don't care if the elliptical thing that I said, you're going to have much better results if you enjoy the elliptical. If you enjoy swimming, that's going to give you the best results. If you enjoy tennis, I have a client who is like obsessed with the Zwift biking thing. So he's cycling. Now cycling's great, but I'm saying like, if you get into like sports or like, pickleball, great example. You can be like, pickleball isn't the most intense thing, but if you play it a lot and you enjoy it, it keeps you active. I'm telling you, that's going to be your best bet. So enjoyment is by far the number one tip I can give for the type of cardio you should choose. I enjoy the treadmill because I listen to, actually, I guess I enjoy any cardio because I'm able to just zone out, listen to audiobooks. I listen to a lot of stuff. try to fill my brain with YouTube help. And I love watching Casey Neistat. So anytime, I mean, he's not really vlogging anymore, but oh my gosh, where was I going with that? Oh, podcasts and stuff. Just try to make myself better and listen to all kinds of fitness channels to, be up to date with the latest things for you guys. So, and my clients. Anyways, I enjoy almost anything, but if you hate, outdoor running, then please don't do it. If you hate the treadmill or Stairmaster, don't do it. Non-negotiable. So I would make your cardio or steps, like some type of combination, non-negotiable, even if you don't feel like it. Now, if you're sick, that's different. Holidays might be different. But, even then, if you're like going into Christmas, I'm telling you, it's so empowering already have gotten your cardio done. I would really just make that a priority. Not above your lifting though, man, that's kind of like a give and take. Like if you've done 2 lifting sessions and you keep missing your cardio, I might go to cardio on the next one. But, anyways, getting your cardio in is so important. Don't skip your cardio. I'm telling you, it is the king of fat loss. Don't listen to the people that say weight loss is the best way or weights are the best way to lose weight. Maybe long term, there's a grain of truth to that, but cardio by far is the best way to lose weight. Trust me, I've lost a lot of weight. I did it wrong and I gained it all back for various reasons. But it worked really well. If I could slow it down, then it goes a lot better, which I have. So podcasts, audiobooks, I already talked about that. Just find some way to enjoy it. That's the most important thing. I'll move on from that one. All right. Holidays and falling off the wagon. So key. This is what I learned during my 3 stints of weight loss. You are going to fall off. You are going to have holidays. You're going to have things that get in the way. You have to count on that. Hear me, please. If you are in the point of this video, I say this a lot, but this is the most important part. You're going to fall off. Prepare for it. So one day means nothing. I want you to really, I'm not saying that to make you feel better. It's true. Anytime I have clients that lose a lot of weight, I'll usually try to remind them because like in the future, I know whenever they kind of graduate from my program, I know they're going to run into something. So I try to remind them of this so that they're prepared for it next time. So I'll pull up the graph. I'm like, hey, cover the dates. You remember whenever you overate all that stuff at New Year's and you felt horrible? Find that for me on this graph. They never can because it means nothing because they moved on. That's what's key. Now, they might sometimes be able, was it right there? And they might have guessed right. But the thing is that it's so small. The point is, on a weight loss graph that it goes down like this, which for you, I'm not sure if it's backwards, to find a weekend, it means nothing. Please move on. You don't have to take your weight, for a week. Just move on from it. Weight fluctuations also mean nothing. Up and down, up and down, up and down. It will go up and down your entire weight loss journey. But on the way down, the pattern going down, that's what matters. And if you're losing at a rate back here that I said, was a good rate to lose, roughly 1 pound of body fat per week for most people. And eventually, even if you are really large, you're going to need to go into that 1 pound of body fat per week area. You got to think, you're not going to lose 0.2 pounds every day. Would that would be more than a pound a week. So even if you lost 0.2 to 0.1 pounds every day, that's not going to happen. You're going to fluctuate up and fluctuate down. But if the pattern says down, you're in the spot you need to be. Don't worry about it. Just enjoy the journey. Which I hope I kind of talk about that here. You're never wasting your time. But let me talk about it real quick. Enjoy the journey. So I know that's cliche, but I find this is very encouraging for people when they hear, let's say you want to be 140 pounds, you're female. Let's say you're male and you want to be 190 pounds. You want to see 199. You're not going to be happy. You are going to be happy when you see 199. You're not only going to be happy when you see 199. If you're at 270 and you go down to 260, I'm telling you, you're going to be like, I feel pretty good. Whenever you get down to like 230, and I know that's a big jump, but I just don't want to make the video too long. But like every weight increment, you're going to be like, my clothes fit different. My arms feel good. I feel strong. I feel more attractive. It's fun the entire way. So just know that you don't have to wait very long to start really enjoying this. I want to skip over to you are never wasting your time. So let's say that you, through the holidays, didn't lose a pound, but you kept lifting and you kept doing cardio. You're going to be more fit. You're going to be healthier, which I know is like not fun to talk about, but you are going to be healthier. Your heart and lungs are going to be healthier. There's a higher chance of you living longer. But you're going to be more fit. You're going to be able to walk at a higher incline on the treadmill and burn more calories. So in the future, it's going to be easier whenever you're past the holidays. The entire time you were lifting, if you were overeating a little bit during the holidays and you maintained weight, you were probably in the background building a little bit of muscle and losing a little bit of fat. So you're probably stronger. You're going to look even better at the end. Your metabolism is going to be even more, sustainable by the end. It is great. You're never wasting your time. Now, imagine if you weren't working out, you'd be gaining weight and it would be all body fat, right? So you're not wasting your time. So just know that, like, hey, even if I'm flat here during the holidays, it's not a big deal. So have a holiday meal strategy. Here's my strategy. I'll tell you what it is, and then you can, decide to use it or not. So no matter what, that morning, because usually holidays, like, you're off work. So that morning, get in a workout, even if it is a walk, but try to get in like your legit workout. Your gym might be closed. If it is, try to get in some sort of like push-ups, squats, and then a walk or something. Get yourself feeling good. Get your steps in that day. Non-negotiable. Got to get in the steps. Then here's how I handle and breakfast, lunch, snacks, whatever, has to be super clean, normal day. I shouldn't say super clean, like a normal, if you make one of my pasta meals out of the recipe book that I told you about, eat that, just don't eat like leftovers from the Thanksgiving before or whatever. Eat your normal stuff. But then the holiday plate strategy or the holiday meal strategy. So I always go for the protein first, and it looks weird, but come on, you're around family. Who cares? They can tease you if you want. I always do an entire plate of protein. So at Christmas, that might be more like ham. At Thanksgiving, that's more like turkey. But whatever it is, go for protein. And then any vegetables, I'll also throw that on there. So in any amounts, really, pile it on. Even if it's not cooked really well, if it's green bean casserole, whatever, it's the best you got. Get a plate of that. Eat it all. Enjoy it. Maybe put a little bit of gravy on there or whatever. Enjoy it. Then whatever room you have left in your stomach, be honest with yourself. Don't engorge yourself. Is that the word? Engorge? Don't stuff yourself completely max, but get a little bit of the other things. If it's macaroni, if it's stuffing, I'm in Thanksgiving mode right now, but if it's, mashed potatoes, the gravy, get a little bit of all those and enjoy it. Now you're going to be over full and you're still going to probably be too full for dessert. Have a slice of dessert. The point is, you're going to overeat in this meal. Just don't way overdo it. And then here's my rule. If people try to give me leftovers, as sweet as Nana's cooking is, I'm going to start telling them, or I have, been telling them, this is going to be thrown away. I'm going to literally pull into my driveway, walk to the trash can, throw it away if you give it to me. And it might be kind of offensive a little bit. Might be a little bit of friction. But my health and my family's health is more important to me. So you can either give it away or you can throw it away. I don't care, but I'm not going to take the leftovers. It was delicious. And I don't want to, that's a good way of complimenting. It was delicious. And I don't want to accidentally eat all of it and get fat. Another thing that bothers me, and this could trigger you. I hate the, there's starving kids in Africa, so you better eat your plate. It doesn't make you more thankful to eat your plate. You don't have to finish your plate. You don't have to eat the leftovers whenever you bring them home. You're not a morally bad person for throwing away food, around the holidays. Now, if you consistently are buying too much food and throwing it away, you could really help out the environment and just, be more appreciative of, or be more thoughtful. That's it. Of, your budget and everything. But it doesn't make you a bad person if you order pizza for a special event and half the pizza's left and you throw it away. It doesn't, we need to disengage from eating all of this food and getting fatter and potentially dying of heart disease and leaving my kids earlier. And who knows what kind of debt I leave my spouse in. That makes me a good person. No, it doesn't. Okay. So ditch that. Anyways, sorry, it was a rant. Eat before, eat clean, eat a lot. I know a lot of people, and I did this as well. I would not eat before. I would be starving by the time I went. And it never worked. It sounds like a good plan. Oh, I'll save all 2,000 calories for this one meal. Sounds like a great plan. But then it always ends up being 5,000 calories because your body the hormones that are telling you to eat are so powerful. You're able to way eat more than if you just ate before. If you ate clean and you ate enough. If you saved one meal's worth of calories, let's say 500, 600 calories for me, that's what it is. I take that to Thanksgiving. Yes, I end up eating 1,000 calories. And yes, I talked about this. I overate. But it's not a big deal. You move on. When you combine this and you move on, it just means nothing. Yes, you overate. You're already in a calorie deficit though. So that's another thing I forgot to put on here. Let's say that, for me, 1 pound of weight loss per week is roughly 2,500, 2,600 calories because I walk a lot and, I have a good amount of muscle. People are gonna make fun of me for that, but whatever you want to say. So for me, let's say 2,500 calories. If I overeat, if I save 400 calories, and then I overeat by 600 calories, that puts me at 3,000. That's just my break even point. Now, yes, the scale is going to be high the next day. It's going to be full of water weight. Like my body's going to be full of water weight. But, you give that a couple days, it'll fall off. Didn't even gain any real fat. In fact, probably helped me recover from my lifting session. And now, I have more muscle than I had before. So anyways, if you're still watching at this point, you're an OG. I love you, and see ya.